Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time once again as we dive headfirst into the Paranormal Portal. Wear your helmets and safety gear for sure. Keep your arms, legs, hands, feet, any appendages well within the car as we traverse the portal, because you may pull back a stump if you don't. I'm just saying. The portal's an unusual place, but welcome everybody. Glad you guys are here. Hope you're having a great week. It is hump day. That means you're halfway to the weekend if you're a Monday through Friday kind of person. And if not, then I'm just sorry. Gallon Brent. What's Gallon Brent? What am I missing? What is Gallon Brent? You got a gallon hat? A 10-gallon hat? What does that mean? Sharon Sunshine said, Gallon Brent. Okay. Karen Alberting's going to lurk. That's fine. Hi, Deborah Neighbors. Hello, man from the West 420. Hello, everybody. Sharon Sunshine. Wizard Moon. John Stevenson. Sharon Sunshine again. John Stevenson again. No, I'm just reading the names as they're popping here. Rachel Gets It Right is in here, as is Hello, Friend. Man from the West 420 is here. Aquarian Sunshine. That sounds lovely. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. I don't know if that's the same thing, but anyway, hello to you. Thanks for coming in, Aquarian Sunshine. Great to see you. Cecil Webb Jr. is in here. Annie Manula's here. Who else? Jem Gwyn's here. I'm looking down the list, seeing who I see, if I see anybody. Yeshua is here. Good to see you. You give hearts and a little bit of thunder there. Yeah, I'm a little out of tune. But haven't really warmed up the vocal cords yet, so that's the version you get. Let me go up to the top and see what happened. Somebody said something. Did I just see? Yeah, I knew hello, friends here. I knew I saw 420. I'm like, darn. So I had to go back. I had to scroll back and see just what that was all about. Over in the Rumble, I got Big Mac with me. Big D, rather. Big Mac. He's not a burger. He's a man. Sorry. I don't know what, maybe I'm hungry. Maybe that's what it is. But I also got Dog Diggers over there in Rumble hanging out with me. So good to see you guys in the Rumble land. I don't see Barbara yet. But yeah, I think I got most of you. Did I miss anybody? Rachel right out of the bat. Before I was even streaming, she said, turn the Ghost Radar on. Or no, she said it was a question. Turn on Ghost Radar? Question mark. Yeah. It wasn't quite a demand, but it was all capitals, so I couldn't miss it. I love that. So, yes, I did turn it on. Actually, I had it on prior to reading that, so I was a little ahead of the game in that regard, but as always, I do appreciate you guys helping me drive the ship here. I'm not always sure what the hell I'm doing, but I'm having as much fun doing it as I can. Kat Dougherty's in here. Good to see you, Kat. Thank you for coming in. And to all of you guys, thanks for coming in. I'm just looking to see if I missed anybody at this point. I think I got everybody, or most everybody. Oh my God, Jem Gwyn's gifting 5. God bless you. Cracking it open. Jem Gwyn gifted 5 memberships to the portal here, so let's unwrap it to see who got them. Looks like Jordan Cogburn got one. Lisa Marie got one. Congratulations to both of you. Forest Friend got one, as did Mickey G and Button68. So congratulations to all you guys. I got to get some member streams cooking again. Man, I am just verklempt. I'm going full Yiddish here. I'm not Jewish or Yiddish, but I love those things. But yeah, we'll have to do that. Special thanks to Jem Gwyn for doing that, and congratulations to all 5 of you. You'll be members of the channel for a month if you choose to keep going. Fantastic. If not, thanks for giving it a shot. That's all I can say. And thank you, Jem, for making that happen. You are a doll. And what was I seeing here? I saw something I was going to comment on, and now I forgot it. Erica Barney, hi. Good to see you as well. Thank you. Thanks for coming in. That's what I was going to say. I saw a name, and I was like, who was that name? Now I see it. Erica Barney. Cecil Webb Jr. is in. And it's the Canadian way, eh? I'm Minnesotan by birth and most of my life, so Minnesota's like Canadian light. About the only thing we don't do is say A at the end of everything, but I ended up absorbing it from somewhere anyway, so I say it a lot. Or I used to. I've noticed I don't as much anymore. I'm kind of a chameleon in my vocabulary or idiosyncrasies or vernacular or nomenclature or whatever the hell I'm trying to think of. Anyway, got to start driving, but I'll be here with you. Well, thank you. Yeah, drive safely, Aquarian Sunshine. I'll be talking to you and hopefully keeping you company on your journey, wherever it is you're going. Of course, it's fun to watch who gets them. Yes, it is. And it's, I really appreciate that. You guys got to understand, memberships are a big driving force for what keeps this show afloat. I mean, honestly, it's obviously this show, even still with all the wonderful gifting and stuff, as far as time investment and return on investment, it's pretty freakishly low, but I still love doing it. So it definitely helps to keep the lights on here on the portal. So thank you for those of you that gift memberships or super chat, or if you can. And if you can't, don't worry. There's lots of ways to help the show if you love the show. One of which is just liking these streams when they're happening, whether you're watching them live or on a replay. And another is commenting. And another way that's totally free, doesn't cost you anything, is to share them, recommend the show, that kind of stuff. So there's lots of ways to help. Not all of them have dollar signs attached to it, which is good. So I really appreciate any and all of those. So I'm glad you guys are here. Nathan Nate came in. Good to see you. Anybody else before we go on? Jason Finch is here. Hello, buddy. Good to see you, Jason. So I guess tomorrow I'm 45 feet in the air all day, party time. Ooh, I'll be careful up there. I like it here on the flat, hard part. Unless I get flat. Tony Rathman is in here in from Facebook. Good to see you, Tony. Great to see you as always, my brother. He and his wife Cherie, of course, are spearheading the Staticom project. And if you're not familiar with that, definitely check it out. It's a revolutionary new approach to instrumental transcommunication with spiritual entities. In other words, they use what's the best way to say this? They use electronics in order to communicate, but they're doing it in a novel new way. And that way is they're not using antennas in any means. It's a completely separate standalone white noise generator that they're getting these incredible responses to a lot of incredible questions. So it's fascinating because if you're not familiar with it, white noise is just essentially the sound of static. It is just kind of a fuzzy sound, if there was a fuzzy sound. That's white noise. So they've encapsulated that in a standalone loop, and they run it through some proprietary processes. And you guys won't believe the responses that they get. It's just amazing stuff. Really exciting. I'm just so excited for what they're doing, and been big friends and fans of them for a long time. So good to see you guys. Thanks for coming in. And I'm sure Cherie's there somewhere. So hello to Miss Cherie. Let's get to what we're going to do tonight. Obviously, we're going to get to the news. We got to do the news. Got to find out what's going on in the world. I've got a lot of articles pulled up because it's Wednesday. There's always a bunch to pick from. But hi, Benno from Oz. Good to see you. Supernatural Station. Jaron is here. Good to see you, brother. Another great show. You should check it out. Support the boys. Jaron and Roman are doing great things. And then we're going to get to, I got to look. I might have to pull something up. I don't remember where we were at with it. No, we got an article we're going through. These are 22 true paranormal stories that'll get you excited for Halloween. No, we went through those. We went through all of those. I might have to pull up a new one when we get to story time. Is this it? 11 paranormal investigators. Yeah, I did all of those. Did them all. So I left them open like an idiot, and they're still sitting here, and I would have started reading them again, and you've already heard them. I've already heard all of them. We did all the Halloween ones, especially right before Halloween. So we'll get another article opened up with to go into, and then we'll get to the what the hell is that, and we'll get to the cryptid corner, and that should be about 2 hours. Brent, how is Pikachu? You know what? Thank you for asking. He's doing marvelous. I will tell you that was terribly frightening. So for those of you who aren't aware, Pikachu is my little white tiger stripe Siamese mix, and he's adorable. He's a lovable little guy. He's an idiot, but I love him. And the problem with Pikachu is he's an indoor-outdoor cat, so he comes and goes and stuff, but he likes to fight, but he's no good at it. He like gets his ass pounded all the time. Sorry for the language, but I mean, he's just like, you'd think he would learn, but he can't help it. It's just that male cat thing. And he is fixed. He's fixed. He should be all mellow. But anyway, what had happened was, and I was actually in the backyard, there's this other cat that's been kind of hanging around, and it belongs to somebody in the neighborhood, but it's like an always outdoor cat. And I don't even know if they feed it or if it hates its food or what, but it's been around here forever over the summer and stuff. And, it got to where it could pet it, and it's a sweet cat, a big, fluffy thing. And, it's a nice cat, but Pikachu hates him. It just hates this cat. So what happened was I was out, it was maybe 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, I was outside, and Pikachu was gone somewhere. He's just going out doing adventures like he always does. But that fluffy cat showed up, so I'm just sitting there petting the fluffy cat. Well, then Pikachu hears me. Oh, thank you, Coley. Appreciate it. Coley Weber says, great show. Thank you for that praise. I appreciate it. But he comes home. He jumps the fence, comes home, and he doesn't see the fluffy cat up there on the back porch right outside the back door. So he's wandering along, and that other cat, the fluffy cat, hears Pikachu coming and literally jumps off the chair, does a beeline right to the edge of the porch. Well, Pikachu didn't see that, and he gets to the edge of the grass and jumps up on the porch, and he stops face to face with Fuzzy Cat. And Pikachu's like, instantly, he got his beer muscles or something, and he starts howling. And that other cat just went like this, and and it leapt onto my cat, and I'm like, ah. So I'm like having to separate them. But that fluffy cat is ferocious, and he bit right on the back of Pikachu, and I could hear when he pulled his tooth, how it went like that, almost like that. It's much more muffled sound, but it was like, oh. So I got that cat out of here. Whatever, he was fine. A little bit of a mark, nothing big, but that little wound on his back got septic, and I didn't know it. I didn't know anything was wrong. So he was fine that day and maybe the next day, and then suddenly he got like tired and was just laying around all day. I'm like, wow, this isn't normal. Then over the next series of days, suddenly I picked him up and he's got this like a sack of something under the skin there, and I'm like, oh my God, what happened? And then I'm like, I wonder if this is from that cat fight. And it just got bigger and worse, and he got more lethargic, and I was like, oh no, this is not good. Well, we tried to look for any wound that we could treat or anything, but there was nothing. It was all under the surface. So it's going to kind of get gross. I'm sorry you only asked a question. I'm going into an entire monologue about it, but it stressed me out. It was like seriously stressing me out. And those of you that were here, you could probably tell from the sound of my voice. Yeah, it was like an abscess, so you're absolutely right. So, I mean, it was looking like something was wrong with him. It was getting worse. I'm like, well, and this was a Saturday night, and it was late, just before I did the show, that I found this sack or whatever on the back of his back. And I'm like, oh God, what do I do? There's no vets. This is a small town. Everybody's, Monday through Friday, that kind of thing. I'm sure there's some emergency vets. That was always a possibility, but I'm like, oh, that's going to be extraordinarily expensive. Not something I really want. And so I got done with the show, and I guess this is the next show. Yeah, I got done with the show, and I think it was, and, of course, trying to help him any way we could, cold packing, that kind of stuff. Nothing's helping, and suddenly it started weeping. And I'm here to tell you the fluid that it was weeping was like a pussy brown. Oh God, it was like chocolate milk from hell. It was just this horrid stench. And because I picked him up, I'm like, oh, he stinks. And then I looked, and it was like weeping a little bit. And I'm like, oh no. So I grabbed the peroxide, the triple antibiotic ointment, and a bunch of rags, and wrapped up my hands, and I kind of pressed lightly. And the stinky crap that came out of there was just like, oh, this is horrible. This is really bad. Because if his blood goes septic, he's going to die, and he's got this huge infection. And I did the best I could with treating it with dumping peroxide on it, trying to express it, to drain it and all that. And then this is Sunday. So then on Monday, he's doing a little better after I spent about an hour draining and washing and then packing it with antibiotic ointment and stuff. And it's just progressively gotten better. He's getting his feet under him now. He's doing really good. So thank you for asking. Sorry for the long, but I was really worried that I just buried Anubis, just a few months ago. I don't know, maybe it's several months now, but it just feels like yesterday. And I was just breaking my heart thinking, oh God, don't make me lose the next one. So it all worked out. Should it ever happen again, use paste of honey and baking soda. It will drain it, and honey is great for infection. Thank you, Julie. I appreciate that. I didn't know that. I appreciate that a lot because I was just beside myself. I was like, oh God, please God, don't let me have to bury this one too. Because it already hurts enough. So anyway, that's the story. Good cat dad. Yeah, it was no fun. It was no fun. That fluid was so horrible. It was just the most funky smelling stuff ever. Ugh, I'm just thinking about it now. So anyway, in a nutshell, thank you for asking. He's good. He's getting good. He's getting better all the time. And yeah, everything's fantastic. So thank you for asking. Yeah, I appreciate that though. So it's baking soda and honey. I appreciate that. That's awesome. So what breed? He's tiger stripe and Siamese mix. He's cross-eyed. So he's just this dopey looking doll. I just love that little bastard. He's funnier than hell, but he's got such a chip on his shoulder. He thinks he's just all that. And he gets spanked all the time by these neighborhood cats, but he keeps trying. Hi, Brent. A wee bit late. It's okay. Kitty Cattywhack, good to see you. Thank you. Thanks for coming in. They're like family. Yes, they are. Absolutely. Are you talking about anal glands? No. No, I'm not talking about anal glands. I'm leaving those all the way alone. He can drag himself on some AstroTurf or whatever and take care of that. I'm not expressing those. I'm talking about a septic wound that got on his back, like an abscess. It was horrible. So, and that was, I don't know what anal glands are like. That's a whole nother adventure that I will definitely bring him to the vet for. So cross-eyed, his tears fall on his back. Yeah, but he's okay. Thank you for asking. So, without further delay, sorry for the long anecdote about my cat, but it's kind of a success story. I'm really happy. I'm really pleased that he's doing well, and I appreciate that you asked. Thank you. We're going to get to the news, and let's find out just what the hell's going on, because you heard about everything else. That's exactly what it sounded like you were describing. No, it's fine. It's fine. And I'm sorry if that seemed rude, Mary. I don't mean it that way. It just hit me sideways like anal glands, and I was thinking, God, if I had to express those, that would be horrible. I don't know what that's like, but I've heard stories, and I don't want anything to do with those. I wasn't real happy about the one that I did have to deal with on his back, but I mean, it was either that or watch him go septic and probably die. So I had to do what I had to do. Talking to you from Yakima, Washington. I'm over in the north tip of Idaho, Mary. Thank you. So good to see you, though, wherever you're talking to me from. Thanks for talking. Appreciate it. All right, so all you guys ready on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, and X, and Facebook Live. So let's do it. Let's get to the news, ladies and gentlemen. Time to change that subject. Pancho, that is not Two of Hearts. Quit doing that to me. I keep getting that damn song in my head. I know it was bad back when it was new. I didn't like that song when it first came out, and now I'm reliving it decades later. This hurts. It's not Two of Hearts. It's some 70s disco beat that Wes found. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paranormal Portal News Desk. I'll be your anchor, and we will be walking through the news of today, our hump day brief, as it were. I don't even know if that sounds right. I just realized what it sounded like. That's hilarious. All right. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, we utilize a lot of different sites on this show. These sites are incredibly well done. They are just top of the line. I love supporting these sites. They are incredible and giving them exposure. They give us some of the greatest material I've ever found in my years of surfing the webs. And I just want you guys to please visit these sites. Please give them your love. Hi, Tim Mothman. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for coming in. And give them your love. Give them your traffic, because your traffic does equal revenue and helps keep their lights on. I don't know if any of you guys have ever run a big site, but it is expensive. You have to pay for bandwidth and all that. So your traffic helps to pay the bills for all these sites and keeps them right where they are. And that's my favorite kind of site. Keep them live. Keep them online. So let's get to the first story tonight. And this is from unexplained-mysteries.com, an incredible site. I got to reposition it a little bit, I remember. And this is the news site that I have just enamored with. It's been incredible, and they have a lot more stuff on there too. So it's not just this weird, wacky stuff. It's also regular news, science news, nature, just so many different headings and information you can find over there. So check out unexplained-mysteries.com. This is from the nature and environment section. Any of you guys afraid of spiders? Any of you worried about spiders? You're like, no, creepy crawlies? No. Arachnophobia is a real thing for a lot of people, and this may not be your story if it is, but you'll be happy to know that the world's largest spider web was discovered inside a cave in Europe. There you go. Oh, God. Is that a spider web? I don't even know what I'm looking at here. That looks like a snowdrift. That's crazy. Let's check it out. The enormous web structure is thought to contain more than 111,000 individual spiders. Oof. Walking into a spider web is bad enough at the best of times, but spare a thought for anyone unfortunate enough to step into this particular cave without realizing what's lurking inside. Situated on the border between Greece and Albania, I always think of Cheers when Coach does that Albania, borders on the Adriatic. The permanent pitch black cave is home to a spider web that happens to cover 1,140 square feet and which contains over 111,000 spiders. The web is made up of thousands of individual funnel-shaped webs. Ooh. The natural world still holds countless surprises for us, study lead author István Jurek of the Sapientia Hungarian University in Transylvania in Romania told Live Science, "If I were to attempt to put it into words, all the emotions that surged through me when I saw the web, I would highlight admiration, respect, and gratitude. You have to experience it to truly know what it feels like. If you hate spiders, you probably don't have to and probably won't want to." Unexpectedly, the huge web was built primarily by just two species of common spider, which have never been documented living together and cooperating like this anywhere else. In fact, under normal conditions, these two species might even be expected to eat one another. Often we think we know a species completely, that we understand everything about it, yet unexpectedly discoveries can still occur, said Jurek. Some species exhibit remarkable genetic plasticity, which typically becomes apparent only under extreme conditions. Such conditions can elicit behaviors that are not observed under normal circumstances. Well, there you go. They got a kind of symbiotic thing cooking. So I don't know who does what, but they've been doing it together, looks like for a really long time. And it must be working. I don't know. Crazy. Did you know that before today? I didn't. I learned it now. I was today old. You're welcome. We're all about expanding our horizons here. Let's get to the next story, and this is another one from unexplained-mysteries.com. I know a lot of people postulate that there's a possibility all of this is a simulation, like we're in some kind of matrix. Well, if you're not a proponent of that, you'll be happy to hear that apparently two numbers guys just cracked that and showed it it's impossible. Here you go from Space and Astronomy. Researchers mathematically disprove simulated universe theory. I've got to tell you, I marvel at the ability for math to solve things. You know, I just think it's fascinating. It's maybe a little bit premature. Like, I don't know if they have all the factors to really calculate that correctly, because I think we're always learning about the world around us, the universe around us, the physics, the metaphysics, the quantum physics. I mean, those are all variables that would weigh into anything like this. So without all of the knowledge, I don't know how they can do the calculation, but let's check it out. Scientists now believe that they've finally disproven the idea that we're all living in a simulated universe. What if we told you that the world we live in isn't real? Might sound like a concept straight out of Keanu Reeves' science fiction favorite, The Matrix, but according to some of the world's top minds, the idea that we're living inside a computer simulation is not only possible, but perhaps even more likely than the idea that we're living in the real world. Efforts to prove that this is the case have been ongoing for years, but now a group of scientists has reportedly found a way to mathematically prove that we're definitely not living in a simulation. We've done this by showing that the fundamental nature of reality operates in a way that no computer could ever be capable of simulating. How? How can you, based on what we know? I mean, still. And I'm okay if it is or isn't. It doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, we still got a life to take care of. And whether it's a simulated life or a very real physical life, it's still something we got to take care of. So for me, I don't have a horse in the race, a dog in the fight, whatever. But you can't really know, because we don't know so much. We don't know a lot more than we know. But they've done this by showing the fundamental nature of reality operates in a way that no computer could ever be capable of simulating. It has been suggested that the universe could be simulated if such a simulation were possible. The simulated universe could itself give rise to life, which in turn might create its own simulation. Dr. Mir Faisal, adjunct professor at UBC Okanagan's Irving K. Barber Faculty of Science. God, just get a small name, will you? That's a lot of names. This recursive possibility makes it seem highly unlikely that our universe is the original one, other than a simulation nested within another simulation. This idea was once thought to lie beyond the reach of scientific inquiry. However, our recent research has demonstrated that it can, in fact, be scientifically addressed. The specifics of the team's mathematical proof are rather technical, but generally center around proving that a complete and consistent description of everything requires non-algorithmic understanding. We have demonstrated that it is impossible to describe all the aspects of physical reality using a computational theory of quantum gravity, said Dr. Faisal. Therefore, no physically complete and consistent theory of everything can be derived from a computation alone. Given what we know. I mean, that's the hubris I don't like, is that they just consistently think they got this all figured out. And they don't. They don't have it at all. Rather, it requires non-algorithmic understanding, which is more fundamental than the computational laws of quantum gravity, and therefore more fundamental than space-time itself. Okay. I don't even know what I read for sure. But I'm really confident in the fact that we don't know enough to really know. We don't know enough to know. Does that make sense? I'm not sure it makes sense to me either, but that's my position and I'm sticking to it. All right. Next article and last article for tonight. Excuse me. I know for ages, when I was a kid, I used to love the Jetsons. I love that idea that, we could be living in cities in the sky and have trackways to everywhere you just stand, or you get into your little flying car and go to work and stuff. And there was always the belief was thrown around when I was younger that, by about the year 2000, we should have flying cars. Well, that didn't happen. There's some models now that are more like big drones that people can sit in, and that's a flying car, but it's certainly no Jetsons. But anyway, you'll be relieved to know that Elon Musk is on the case, and he's got some good news for all of us that are looking for flying cars. Excuse me. Here we go. Elon Musk teases reveal of a flying car before the end of the year. Ooh. Here we go. Let's see what it says. The tech billionaire has seemingly set his sights on fulfilling the dream of building a car that can actually fly. Flying cars seem to have been just around the corner for decades now, and while human rideable drones have partially moved to fill in this niche, these still don't really fulfill the dream of a genuine flying car like those seen in science fiction movies such as Back to the Future Part 2. I was thinking Blade Runner, but anyway. Now, though, it seems as though Elon Musk may finally be about to make the idea a reality. Speaking on the Joe Rogan podcast recently, Musk hinted that the reveal of a flying vehicle that we might even get to see before the end of this year. We're getting close to demonstrating the prototype, he said. One thing I can guarantee is that this product demo will be unforgettable. Unforgettable. Whether it's good or bad, it will be unforgettable. When Rogan pressed him to elaborate, Musk replied by saying that it had a shot at being the most memorable product unveil ever, before adding that he was hopeful for a reveal before the year is out. Before anyone gets too excited, though, it's important to note that Musk has been talking about building a flying car for years, so it isn't exactly a new claim. Still, if such a thing actually does materialize this time, and potentially quite soon, it will certainly be interesting to see what the billionaire has actually come up with. Well, if it's a bunch of fans, again, yeah, okay, but, most of those have like 15-minute flying times. They're not going to take you to, a faraway place. I'm looking for something that'll just take you, and you can go until you're done, not have to stop 15 times and recharge for 20 minutes or whatever. But I don't know. We'll see what he comes up with, I guess. I think the problem with that type of model is that batteries are incredibly heavy. And so an electric drone-like thing, you're introducing a lot of weight just to power the thing. Much more than I think an engine, at least I would think. But I don't know. We'll see what the future brings. I'm excited. I'm ready to move on to the next level of this technology stuff. Let's get done with tires and roads and get on with the flying stuff. Anyway, we'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye on that news story as it develops, hopefully before the end of the year. That'd be cool. What do you guys think? You ready to do some flying car stuff? I mean, people suck at 2D driving, which is length and width, and then you add a third degree element, 3D, as it were, third dimension. Then it's probably going to be a lot more fatalities, but what do you do? It's got to be worth the progress. I'm just kidding. Nobody wants to see people die and stuff. That's, of course, horrible, but I think anytime we go faster than we walk, we exponentially increase the likelihood of fatalities. Anyway, there it is. That's the news. I hope you walk away from this with at least a bit of knowledge you didn't have before, or at least you were entertained enough to make it worth your while. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get back to the rest of the show because we got a lot more to get to. And by God, let's do some getting to it. I don't know. Kel says, not a good idea. You're probably right for a lot of people because a lot of people suck just going, this way and this way, and they have trouble with that. But I don't know. I think it'd be cool. Maybe it'd be a more vigorous driving test to kind of weed out the idiots if you could. I don't know. There's got to be a way to screen for that. I don't know if they'd let me fly anyway. Just saying. But I'd be happy to ride somewhere I didn't have to drive. Just give me a smart flying car that'll do it for me, and I'm good. All right. Good to see everybody. Julie Dawn, good to see you. Maggie came in. Good to see you, Maggie. Who else came in? Sissy Lawson, how you doing? Good to see you as well. And, of course, Kel, I mentioned you. But anybody else come in? Aussie Tiger popped in. Good to have you here, buddy. And that's, I think, about it for the new arrivals. Erica Barney. Okay, good to see you, Erica. Thank you. Just scrolling up, see what I see. All right. So there's no holographic universe. You might be flying in cars, and forgot what the third one was. But anyway, those are the news stories for today. All right, we got more. Barbara Mora came in over on the Rumble. Good to see you. And Car Juice did as well. Great to see you guys. Thank you for coming in. Being a part of my party, my paranormal party. It's a paranormal party every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday when I do these live streams. So appreciate you guys being here. Newsy news. You got it, Maggie. Cars dropping on crowds instead of driving into crowds. Well, either way, you know. Have the clocks gone back? I think they went back last Sunday, didn't they? I think that's what it is. They went back last Sunday at like 2 a.m. here, or something like that, whenever the hell they went back. I just love the fact that stuff happens automatically. Like my computer does it, my phone does it. The only thing I got to do is set my coffee maker, stove, and microwave, and then we're good. But it makes it easier that they do it. Thanks. Got my times muddled. Oh, no worries, Maggie. It's okay. It's all right. We'll be here. And, of course, you can always watch a replay if you missed anything due to the time. It's time for the next part of the show. John Stevenson's here. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for coming in. All right. Who's this? Oh, Benno. Like your picture, Benno. That's a good picture. That's cool. I always like to see those icons that actually show you guys. That's awesome. All right. So I keep saying all right. It's still all right. Ghost Box has been very quiet tonight. Nothing going on with the Ghost Radar, which is fine. But some nights it's really busy. But I guess it's probably good. And I've said this before. So for those of you that have been around a while, you've heard me say this before. But I think it's good that it doesn't go off like crazy all the time. Because then be like, all right, whatever. It's just always ghosts around. Sometimes it'll be quiet for weeks and not a blip. And then other time, something shows up. Allegedly. I can't say for sure that it's a ghost, but something. Seems to be some kind of energetic anomaly that triggers the sensor. So we'll keep an eye on it, as always. And if it's real powerful, you hear that horrible hissing sound that sounds absolutely like parcel tongue in Harry Potter. Yeah, that's me, Brent, taking a year, this year in front of our sun. In front of our sun. That's not like a kid sun. That's the flaming ball in the cosmos sun. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's a nice picture, but nice to see ya. Good to see what you guys look like. Jordan Cogburn's got a picture. Hi, folks. Long time no drop in. Just left Sasquatch Chronicles reruns to get up for a snack. Well, very good to have you here, Jordan. Great to see you, and hope things are good in your world. And Sissy Lawson's got a nice picture as well. And that's not a complaint to any of you that don't post pictures. It's fine. You don't need to, but it is neat for me because it just gives me a visual idea, because otherwise it's, just sometimes letters are just circles. And I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. Except for the man from the West 420. I know exactly what I'm looking at. It's just like, oh yeah, there it is. Wizard Moon, looking all handsome as well. So good to see you guys. All right, we're going to get to an article that undisclosed article that I got to figure out right now. I'll get to that one. I just got to scroll and look because I didn't do this before the show. So, nope, we're going to go to the next one. Looking through the archives on Thought Catalog. I just like these articles a lot. So, oh, that's weird. That'd be kind of weird. Oh, here we go. This is only 6 of them. 6 stories, but that'll be enough for tonight's show anyway. Let's check this one out. We're going to do some ghost stories. I love the ghost stories a lot. And again, these are short form stories. They're Reddit scrapes, essentially. So we really, God bless it. Will you stop that? They're short little snippets that people, respond to a Reddit thread that's put out by the authors of these articles. And they give their, 1-2 paragraph responses, which is pretty cool. This one is written by Courtney, Derku. It's Dercqu. That's a very interesting name, Courtney. But it's 6 true ghost stories that'll make it hard to sleep tonight. I'm good with that. I have a hard time sleeping every night, so that'll just make it, give me something to think about. Oh no, it's not time for that. Damn it, I always forget that. I'm going to have to change how I do that. All right, I'm going to reposition things again, but again, this is from Thought Catalog, ladies and gentlemen. And Thought Catalog has been an incredible addition to our show. They just do a fantastic job. I wish these articles were more common on Thought Catalog, but they seem to be kind of phasing away from it in most of their more recent articles. So I've been going through their archives and pulling these up because I love them. I think these are great. Hey, Vince Sanchez, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. All right, 6 true ghost stories that'll make it hard to sleep tonight. 2 types of people in this world, those that believe in ghosts and those who have yet to experience them. Ooh, I like that. So this was written, it was last updated in 2022, 4 years ago, I guess. Almost 4. It was January 3rd, 2022. So almost 4, just 3 years, 11 months ago. But let's check this out and get into these. They're a little longer, so that's good. This will give us a lot of material to work with. So let's go to the first one on this list and have a look. Woo to you too. All right, here we go. When my family moved into our home in 1995, all of us were weirded out. The vibe in that house was off. In certain rooms, like my parents' bedroom, felt uncomfortable. It was like the air in that room was heavy. That's a great sign that you might be in the presence of spiritual energy or some kind of energy, because that is a real common description given by both investigators and people that have experienced hauntings, is that when the activity is really profound in a given space, the air feels like it's almost a solid, or like you're walking through a liquid. There's a real palpable heaviness to the air in those rooms. And I'm not sure what it is. It could be, I don't know, an indicator of the type of energy that they're projecting as they're there. But they tend to be pretty significantly intense kind of hauntings when you have that real heavy feeling. And it just comes up all the time. So I wonder what that is, though, because it's not necessarily barometric, and it's not anything that I think can be actively measured. I don't think it's just an EM field, because generally when you're walking into a high electromagnetic field, you'll feel creepy. You'll feel like someone's there. And that can be natural or unnatural, meaning natural, like there's a wiring fault and you're getting a real high EM field projected from an appliance or the wiring in your house. Or an unnatural, which is still natural, just supernatural, it would be a presence, can seemingly, and I don't like the indicator that ghosts are electromagnetic. I don't think that's the case at all, because, and I've said this many times, so forgive the redundancy, but if they were electromagnetic, then anytime you had a haunting, you just hang magnets around your house and really screw them up, because you'd be disrupting their magnetic field. But whatever energy they are, definitely displaces or affects the EM fields around them. So I don't think that they're electromagnetic as a source, but I think that's a symptom. Something about their energy that they are, or whatever they are, manipulates or alters the electromagnetic fields that naturally occur around us. So just a little food for thought. So anyway, it said, my dad, who never believed in ghosts, didn't even want to sleep in there. As the years went on, I never felt like I was alone in the house, but the room that scared me the most was our attic. Yeah, attics can be really creepy. As I got older, we redid the attic and it became a second floor apartment. The attic was broken into 3 areas. One front room was mostly storage. The second part was where I slept, and the third room was a walk-in closet. The third room always gave me the creeps. It had windows that overlooked the driveway and main road, and every time I parked my car, I'd avoid looking up into that window because I had this sinking feeling that I'd meet someone's gaze. At night, I'd wake up at 2 a.m. for weeks on end for no reason. I'd always have this feeling like somebody was watching me from the third room, their body barely peeking out from behind the wooden door frame. I just knew it was a man. I could just feel it. I kept all my experiences to myself, and after about a year of living up there, I found myself in a weird conversation with my mom. My mom had always been open about her ability to see ghosts ever since she was a child. She wasn't scared of them, but she believed in them more than the average person. One night, as we sat on her bed, she looked at me and asked, "Do you ever see the man upstairs?" I met her gaze and asked, "What man?" She smiled and said, "The guy who lives in the attic. I see him every time I pull up into the driveway." That's the end of the story. But it's like, oh no. It's kind of funny because obviously the guy or woman, I don't know, man or woman, that is narrating this, they obviously have some sensitivity as well. Now, I do think that everybody does, though. I think that, and that's kind of a canned statement that everybody makes, but I do think that the sensitivities do tend to run in bloodlines. They tend to follow bloodlines. Like super psychic people are very likely to have generations follow that are also super psychic, or at least very highly sensitive. But I do believe everybody is in that. I think we know when someone's watching us. I think everybody's had that feeling where it's like, I don't know, someone's here. I don't like the feeling in this room or something. It can be I don't like the feeling. It could be you just know when somebody's watching you, and there's no reason that you should know that, but we all seem to pick up on it. And I think that that's just kind of a sensitivity that's built into us. Maybe from when we were climbing up the food chain, like you had to know when something was hunting you. And so we pick up on it in an energetic way. So Maggie gifted 5. Whoa, Maggie, thank you. Oh, very, very cool. Let's check it out. So who got them? Let's see what's happened. Whispering Portals got one from Maggie. CRF 1000L Os got one. That I assume is Australia. Could be Austria though. Casey Philpott got one. Butch 1 Onepo, I guess. I wasn't sure what to do. 1 PPO. But I think it's Onepo. And Roland Malone got one. Congratulations, all 5 of you. You are now test members of our show for 30 days. You certainly can continue that after that. But it's up to you. But thanks for giving us a shot either way. I appreciate it. And special thank you to Maggie for that. That is so amazing. Thank you so much for that. All right. I always hear the word sensitive in Eddie Murphy's voice for some reason. Oh, do you? I don't know why that is. Is that from like the Golden Child or something? I don't know. Now I'm hearing it. Thank you for that. Some people can just say words and they can just be normal words. But like Eddie Murphy is one of those guys. He can just say a word. It'll be like grocery store or something. But the way he says it just will crack you up. And I don't know. Some people are just funny in the most natural ways. And he's definitely one of those guys. Doesn't matter what he says, it just sounds funny. Not in a bad way, but in a like, yeah, you're going to make me laugh. I know it. So, all right, that's a cool one. Attics are generally a real common place for spirits to hang out, as are basements. And I think that might be because those are the places that everyone else isn't, usually. Like they will go, if they're working through whatever, if they're just dealing with stuff or they're stuck or whatever. Maybe they don't want to be dealing with people. They just want to be alone. And so they tend to go to places where they're alone. Now, sometimes I've often thought with the basement thing that maybe it's more of an elemental nature to the presence that's, being in the earth is maybe more comfortable. I think that's possible, but I can't substantiate that. Just a theory, but very cool. David Barnes, good to see you, brother. How I join officially? Well, there should be on your chat, there should be like a $sign icon, and you can sure join that way, Benno, if you choose. Just click that and choose to become a member. All right, let's go to number 2. And this is, I was usually the only one in my family who ever visited my grandparents at the cemetery. It was usually my tradition to place, what is that, calla lilies, I think, my grandmother's favorite flowers, on her and my pop-pop's joint cemetery plot every Easter. Well, about 7 years ago, I was babysitting my nephew a few days after Easter, and while we were out, I stopped off at the gas station to purchase some discounted flowers to place on my grandparents' grave. Well, I had been able to stop by on the actual holiday, and when I pulled into the cemetery, I was one of maybe 2 or 3 people who were there. The cemetery is set up into multiple sections with 2 other cars parked all the way in the back, away from where I was. My grandparents' plot was relatively close to the main road and where I parked my car, and I grabbed the flowers and my nephew and walked over, having a few-minute conversation with them both, and introduced them to my nephew, who was only about 1.5 years old at the time. Well, the cemetery was silent, and after realizing my nephew had a wet diaper, I scooped him up off my knee and began heading back to the car. While I was carrying him, my nephew started bursting out in laughter. I mean, he was hysterical. I turned my head to see him waving at the gravesite by folding his fingers over, almost as if he was getting ready to make a fist. So it's like a little kid doing that, yeah. I paused because that's exactly how my pop-pop used to wave to us children. Oh, that's sweet. That's lovely. What can you say to that? I mean, that's awesome. Very cool. All right, let's go to number 3. It was summer vacation, and I was about 14 years old at the time when this ghostly encounter happened. My father worked from home but had to run a couple of errands. After begging him, he left me home since he wouldn't be out for longer than an hour. We lived in a very safe neighborhood, and all the floors and windows were locked. And while he was gone, I jumped in the shower and had my music up really loud. It wasn't unusual for my dad to knock on the bathroom door if the music was getting too loud, or if he had to use the bathroom and needed me to finish up. Well, as I was finishing up, I heard fists banging loudly against the bathroom door. "Almost done," I yelled back, singing the rest of the song that was playing. I hopped out, dried off, and put on a robe, and then opened the bathroom door, telling my father that I was out of the bathroom, and the bathroom was all his. There was no answer. I looked in the kitchen and his office. Not there. I peeked my head through the window to see his car wasn't in the driveway. When he got home, I asked him if he stopped by for a few minutes in between his errands, and he hadn't. 10 years later, my husband and I were at my parents' house while my dad was in the hospital to straighten up. I was outside talking to a neighbor when my husband heard banging on the bathroom door. He had apparently yelled out that he was almost finished, and I wasn't even in the house. The old door knocker. Jerk. Just give me some peace while I'm working this out. Come on. Someone pounding on the door. Jeez, that's rude. All right. Interesting story. Do I believe it? Sure. I mean, why not? I don't know. Some spirits are dicks. I don't know. I mean, what do you say to that? Or they just like the bathroom. They just want to be left alone in the bathroom for some reason. I don't know. Let's go to number 4. It's not really a ghost story as much as it is the lack of a ghostly presence. For the 20 plus years I lived in my childhood home, I'd never once felt comfortable. Every time I had my back to the stairs leading up to the attic, I felt this impenetrable gaze looking down at me. Every time I walked into my parents' bedroom, I felt like the closet door would swing open like a ridiculous scene out of Poltergeist. Every room felt thick, unbearable. I never felt like I was alone, even when I was alone. It always felt unsafe. It always felt crowded. That is until my mother died in the house. On the morning of her death, after her body had been cleared, it was the first time the house felt open. It was like the house had taken a new breath. And to this day, I don't know if my mom's spirit demanded that those in the house leave, Or she was the reason the ghosts were there in the first place? That's an interesting point. How would you know? I mean, there's no way to know, but some people do seem to attract spiritual presences. Some people are just beacons for it. And oftentimes it seems to be, at least in many cases, tied to their level of sensitivity. And I don't know if the mom was a sensitive by some measure or not, or knew she was, or it was latent. She didn't really realize it. But some people just draw them out, and I don't know why. And I often think it's maybe akin to, we all have met people that you just like them, and you don't know why. You just like them. They're nice people. You enjoy talking to them. You enjoy being around them, and people gravitate. Everybody's seen these people that they just always have people gravitating towards them. And that's pretty cool. I mean, it's a pretty awesome thing, I think. But then there's other people that you meet and you just don't like them. There's just something you don't like. And I'm not suggesting I know what that is about them. Maybe they're a horrible person. Maybe there's something just energetically that doesn't jive with your own energy. Who knows? But we've all seen both examples of that in people around us. And so I think that it's probably the case for spirits too, that maybe the mom was just one of those beacons. The spirits just felt naturally comfortable and close to that person. So I don't know. It's anybody's guess, but very cool that it all stopped when the mom passed. Very cool. All right, number 5, my mom died about a month and a half before what would have been my parents' 39th wedding anniversary. Well, at the time, my dad refused to sleep in their bed, opting instead for a recliner he had in their bedroom. I don't blame him. It would be kind of hard, I think, to lay in the marital bed without your loving spouse. It'd be like such a painful reminder that you're alone, you know? I don't blame him at all. I think I'd do the same. He was sleeping with a very thick and heavy floral comforter, one that was just way too cumbersome even for even a human to hold up for long. Well, at about 6 a.m., he woke up because he was cold. The comforter was nowhere to be found in the bedroom. His 2 dogs were asleep at his feet. He got up and walked into the dining room to find the comforter folded up. It had a huge indent in it, like someone was sleeping on it. Someone was sleeping in it. And while it could be explained that the dog curled up on it in the middle of the night, what can't be explained is how it got there. Even more so, why was it in the exact spot my mother died in? Oh. Huh. That's sad, I guess. Maybe it's, I don't know. How do you feel about that one? I feel like she's just letting him know, right? I mean, she's just letting him know, look, I'm still here. This is where I am. I don't know. All right, number 6. I think this is the last one, right? Yeah, this is the last one. Number 6. My husband and I were packing to take a vacation on the 1-year anniversary of my mother's funeral. We wanted to be somewhere different. About 2 weeks prior, we'd gone out to dinner for Valentine's Day, and after we were finishing eating, the restaurant gave me a heart-shaped balloon to take home with us. Well, the balloon hung out in our living room, full of air and confined to one corner. The circulation in our apartment isn't great, and there are only 4 or so vents spread out across the apartment. Our ceilings are high, and the doorframe to our bedroom is low, so any piece of furniture we take in and out has to duck from that particular area of the house. My husband and I were in the bedroom planning out outfits to bring with us on our trip when the balloon was suddenly at the entranceway. For 2 weeks, this balloon hadn't drifted from the living room, and now suddenly it was standing at the doorway as if someone was holding it. We both just stopped and stared at the balloon as the balloon lowered itself to enter the room and then floated to a spot that was a caddy corner to our bed frame. "Touch it," I said, to which my freaked out husband replied, "You touch it." The balloon didn't float back up to the ceiling. It stayed in the center as if it were being held onto. "What if it's my mom?" I asked. My husband looked over at the balloon and said, "Margaret, if that's you, bring the balloon to us." The balloon moved instantly, floating right to my head. I even have photo evidence to prove it. About 15 minutes later, after we were focused again on packing, I looked over at the balloon and it was perched on my nightstand next to a photo frame. I like what you did with the balloon, I told my husband. He looked at me and said, I didn't touch it. It was just sitting there on display, still full of life and full of air. Wow. That's cool. I've seen a few videos through the years of balloons doing weird things. There was one that was at a school. And the guy was a night janitor and he was cleaning, and this balloon was just following him. Wherever he went, the balloon just kind of dragged lazily behind him. And I think that's a little creepy. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of nice because it's like, oh, I'm here. Look, I got the balloon. You can see where I am. I'm following you. But in other ways, it's like, is it following or is it stalking? You don't really know. And then your mind jumps in and goes, what if it's coming to get me? I don't know. Cute story, though, especially if it brought her comfort. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the balloon story reminds me of a school video. Oh, yeah, there you go. Super Darren, there you go. Same, great minds, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess they wouldn't have to let you know they're there, but it chose to in that school video. It chose to show that it was there. If indeed, I mean, it could be any number of explanations that are maybe much more mundane and plausible because it's a balloon. They do get tired. They do kind of drag along the floor and follow air drafts, and circulation currents and stuff. But I don't know. I think it could also be a way that they can show us. There was this one video of a balloon where it was at this mother's funeral, and she was older, but I think her adult daughter was just sitting there, just beside herself in grief at the funeral home, and a balloon came drifting across and ended up bumping into her cheek like it was a kiss, and it was just, and the lady who was just beside herself in grief was suddenly like laughing and crying at the same time, and it was like, well, that's cool because that's a healing thing, and to her it was definitely a sign. And who am I to say that it wasn't a sign? Who am I to suggest that that isn't exactly what was going on? Sure, you can explain stuff like that away. We've all seen lazy mylar balloons that have been floating for weeks just suddenly kind of, go, even the string gets a little too heavy, so they kind of drag on the floor while the balloon is still floating up. And sure, every place has some kind of air currents, but that seems pretty significant for that event, that it probably was a sign. And I think that's beautiful. Helium comes from gas deposits under the earth. Okay. Yeah, I think they can mine helium on the moon, or there's an abundance of it on the moon or something. I don't know how that works. But you're right. I did hear about helium in the moon. Well, there you go. That was a great article again from Courtney Derku. Very cool. And she's got a Instagram you can follow her at. I don't know if she's still doing these articles or not. Again, this one's several years old, but a fantastic article. I'd like to find more of hers and read those as well. Great stories, great concept. I like it. And that is the article portion of our show tonight. So we did it. We went through that. I'll have to remember to pull up another one for Friday, of course, but we'll do that later. I guess it's already after 8. Wow. So I've got, sometime I should learn to broadcast more professionally. Less ums, please. We all have these idiosyncratic things that we do. Is that what it is, Rachel? Rachel says helium, so keep the moon in the sky. Well, that's why there's plenty of it there, I guess. The moon last night was wild. You're right, Maggie. I was outside, and the minion told me we took out our dog, and we're just standing out in the moonlight. And he goes, "Oh, that's a supermoon." I was like, "Oh, it's tonight a supermoon?" He goes, "Yeah. It's supposed to be so many percentage bigger, or appear so much percentage bigger." And I was like, "Oh, very cool." So we sat and watched the supermoon if it was a supermoon. Did you guys hear that too? I don't know. I didn't know it was coming or anything. Excuse me. I used to have serious problems on supermoons. I had one time something hit me like a truck, and it was a super blue moon or something like that, and it was several years ago, but it was when Don and I were trying to do the show, and Don was having trouble because everything he touched he was dropping, like he couldn't keep anything in his hands, and he broke something of mine somehow, and I was like, oh, okay. But then we sat to do the show, and literally, suddenly, I just started, my vision closed in, and it was like a tunnel, and I was like trying my hardest not to faint. And I was like, hey guys, sorry, I can't do a show. I don't know what the hell's going on. And so, oh, it's tonight as well. Okay, thank you, Wizard. And I had to shut down the show because I was like, I can't do a show. I was literally 5 minutes into it, and I was just suddenly, my vision was closing in, and I was feeling like I was floating away, and I was like, oh no. And I had to shut it down and just go lay down. But closest to the Earth this year. Okay, that's cool. There you go. It is bigger. Keep it real and unscripted. Brent, I appreciate your authenticity. Oh, thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. Yeah. You'll get all that I got to give you. Hopefully you continue to enjoy it. Will my new Paranormal Portal t-shirt stretch, Brent? I don't know. Does it need to? Do you need it to stretch? I suppose any t-shirt you can encourage to stretch if you do things with it. But if you don't want it to, then no, I don't know. Mine haven't stretched. I've not noticed any stretching on the ones that I have. So it should be good. Should be good. But thank you for getting a shirt. That's very cool. That goes a long way to help too. Thank you guys. All right, we're going to get to the next segment of the show, which has been a fun addition to our roster of weird and wonderful stuff on the Paranormal Portal, and this is...
What the hell is that?
Indeed, what the hell is that? This is a newer segment where we showcase alleged proof, evidence of the paranormal, supernatural, Fortean topics, strange, unusual stuff. And I ask you guys to weigh in on it. Do you think what you're looking at is evidence? Or do you think it's a bunch of crap? And sometimes we're kind of split. Sometimes we have different ideas about what we're seeing. Other times we're all on board that this is not something, or it very well could be. But it's a great opportunity just to look at stuff and see what you guys think. And I like this segment because I really originally introduced it because I wanted to encourage critical thinking. I was seeing so much stuff being represented as paranormal fact, and I didn't like that much. Because with the rise of AI and stuff, it's getting harder and harder and harder to tell. I mean, there's still tells if you look deep enough and you look carefully enough, you can find the tells, but I think until they implement some kind of forced watermark into AI renders, it's going to be a problem. There's a lot of things right now floating around. Hell, I showed a video on the show a few weeks back of what looked like mammoth babies, like little baby woolly mammoths. And I was like, guys, I don't know what I'm looking at here. Is this something that you guys have heard of? And everybody's like, nah, that's crap. I was glad to hear that because I was like, how did this get under my radar? I usually watch for this kind of stuff. That's kind of my job doing a show. But it was a very good video. I mean, it was very good. There was some things people pointed out that really helped to dial it in. And you guys have some great eyes and have some great observation skills. So if I'm asking you, sometimes I'm really wondering because I don't know what to think. So take it that way. I got to resize this one a little bit because I have two very different size screens. The first is a picture that's coming from Ghosts and All Things Creepy on Facebook. So definitely follow their page. Check them out. Looks like some great stuff that they post over there. And again, I don't fault these sites for posting this stuff. I think it's great to discuss, have conversations about. So I think that's wonderful. Just want to make sure. No, I thought I heard my phone buzzing, but it was not my phone. So here we go. We're going to go to the first one here, which is this image. And I don't know. I think this might be legit. It looks like it's predating AI by quite a ways. The caption on this is as follows, and I'll put it up on screen so you guys can see it, and I can see if it's on screen perfectly for you. But here's the image, and the caption reads, "Captured at the Riverside Indian School in Anadarko, Oklahoma." Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. What are your thoughts on this photo of what appears to be children playing on the playground equipment? First of all, those wheels of death probably claimed a lot of lives back in the 50s, 60s, 70s.
Instrument.
It is an instrument, maybe an instrument of death. Good point. Maybe they were manufactured to maul children. I don't know. But I will tell you, it's hard to know what we're looking at here. But there is a transparency to these figures because you can see the bars, not completely. It could just be an edit where they darkened in and masked it so that it made all these kids look more ghostly. It's hard to say if this is actual nighttime or if it's a manufactured nighttime shot. But if this is legitimately the exposure it was taken at, then it looks like it could be. What do you guys think? Is this evidence, potential evidence of some ghostly spirits hanging out at the merry-go-round on a playground? These things were so... we were such crazy kids when we were young. Freaking monkey bars, the bars of death. They're all metal. There was no cushions. My playground had this kind of stuff on a paved playground. It was paved, like blacktop. Are you kidding? We tore ourselves up on that stuff. You go on those monkey bars, it kind of looked like a space capsule. and you know, you fall and rack your head on stuff, and it's amazing more kids didn't die. Okay, we got a few responses to this. Let's see. 1, if you think it's real. 0, you think it's not. Or 0.5 if you're kind of in between. Jaron says, I think it's real. I'll bite. So we got Benno from Oz, 0.5. Cool image. Rachel's halfway there. Beth is halfway there. This is, what does Supernatural Station say in 2006, 2009 range? Is that when this picture is taken, you're saying? Could be right. I guess that's possible. Sharon Sunshine's halfway there. Aussie Boss Tiger's all in. Lots of us sitting on the fence, not enough info. Fair enough. And for most of these, we're not going to get even that much. So take what you got. Just make a gut call. We're not grading this. There's no correcting your answers. Just kind of curious what you guys think. Blisters were a rite of passage. Yes, they were, Benno. John Stevenson's halfway there. Again, Jaron says, yeah. Maggie's halfway there. John Labella's 1. He's all in. Yeshua's halfway there. And Kat Doherty's halfway there. Wizard Moon says, nope, not buying it. Where are we at? Where's Wizard Moon? There you are. Kitty Cattywack's about halfway there. Gemgun's halfway there. Barbara Mora's halfway. And Dog Digger's halfway. Don't know enough about the context. Yeah, exactly. We don't know anything. But just based on what you can see, does it look like it could be legit or not? That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking you guys to make educated, dissertations of it. So don't feel like that you can't just render an opinion. It's fine. So it looks like a bunch of grays. Maybe it is. Hell, maybe it is. Doing good, John. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. So yeah, I think it could be legit. There's clearly some form of translucency going on with people standing on there, and yet you can still see the bars from behind them. So could it be? Yeah, it could be. It would be an incredibly fortunate capture to get not only any kind of spirit on there, but get this number of alleged spirits hanging out. Now, it could be doctored, and certainly there's a lot of things that could have made it look this way that are not legit, but just based on what we can see. So, I think it's potentially really good. So let's get to the next one and see what else I got for you. I got more for you. Who said bedtime? Oh, Cryptical Crossroads. Bedtime. Wait, what the hell is that? I don't know. With AI, it's hard for me to get to a full one. Yeah, this one did actually predate AI though, which is good. I not that there couldn't be fakes before AI. There've been fakes forever since cameras have been invented. Here's another one. Speaking of AI, I'll just say that. Speaking of AI, here's a new one. This one's coming from Boise Bigfoot. It's actually a video apparently captured on a trail cam. And again, when they come out of nowhere with almost no backstory, obviously it's probably not legitimate. But I'll let you guys weigh in on it and see what you think. This is the next one. So this one is a video, again, from Boise Bigfoot. And this is on Facebook, Boise Bigfoot. It's a cool group. They got a lot of alleged evidence posted on their Reels section and in their images. So it's worth checking out. Not that you should believe most of what they post, because I don't think they believe most of what they post, but they're posting it for the same kind of reasons I'm doing this segment. So that's cool. So here it is. Here's the video. Let me get it up on screen for you guys. Let me check the feed. Yeah, that looks good. Here's the video. And look at those teeth. Now, there's are some chompers. Ever wonder what breath might smell like? I guess with AI, we will never believe the truth. Even if you get 1,000 photos of a real Bigfoot, they will always say it's AI. Good point, Boise Bigfoot. Yeah, now we're at the point where nobody believes anything, because if it does look real, it's obviously got to be AI. And chances are it is, in all fairness. Like, the chances of getting a real clear photo of Bigfoot are incredibly, incredibly small. So if you see a real clear photo of Bigfoot, you got to start with AI. If you can remove that, then you might be onto something. But that's why I think we need a forced watermark of some kind, or just 1 pixel in this many pixeled video. 1 pixel that will trigger a notification on whatever you're watching it on. This is rendered AI. That's all. Just needs to be some kind of watermark that can't be avoided. That would be great. All right, so let's check out this video. Look at those teeth, man. It needs some definite orthodontists in the Bigfoot world. Yeah. Show us those yellows. Show us those pissy yellows. There you go. Pretty cool video. I mean, it is cool. It's a good render as far as videos go. Here it goes again. It's like, yeah, that's a grimace only a mother could love. I think the nose is all wrong too, because it's more of a primate nose, and I think almost every sighting report I've heard is it's hooded nose. I think that is kind of hooded, but it still looks more gorilla-y. It's a great render though. I think it's fascinating. But here we go. What do we got? What's the votes? Let's check it out. 1 if you think that's a Bigfoot and that's a real capture. No. 0 if you think it's some kind of AI garbage. It is a pretty good render though, either way, but it's all right. We've got pretty consistently zeros. I'm not even going to try to read all of them, because I think you all are on board. There's Steve Deshavi. I don't know what he's pitching or whatever, but anyway, there it is. Boise Bigfoot. Nathan, nope. Looks good. Hard to buy for me. Yeah, exactly, Josh. Kitty and cat next to each other. That's not at all confusing. Cat and kitty cattywhack. Both their nose. Wizard Moon made a big red circle no. There you go. Benno is all in on this one. Benno says, yeah, that's real. Oh, LOL. Never mind. Hi, Caitlin. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Boise Bigfoot is posting a lot of AI apparently stuff. Yeah, they have. And again, I don't think they believe it either, but it creates discussions, and that's okay. So in Rumble, let's see what we've got. I have a couple of fairly clear photos. 0 from my experiences, Dog Digger says. Yeah, and I'm not saying, Dog, I don't mean to imply that there isn't great evidence out there, but it's just more than likely what everybody's seeing online is a bunch of manufactured stuff. But Barbara Morris says 0. Yep. Okay. All right. Kit Kat. Yeah, I'd love one. Benno, thanks. I just got to go raid the Minions Halloween basket. Once it's bedtime, it's all mine. All right. There we go. There you go. That's the next one. Let's see what else I got for you. Got another picture coming up next, I think. I gotta get my browsers organized a little more. Here's a good one. This one is coming from Ghosts of London. And again, they got a lot of ghost photos and stuff over there that I think some of them are pretty compelling, actually. Like they might actually be catching something cool. But not all of them. I think they also have a lot of just foggy mists and stuff that's not necessarily ghostly or whatever, but they got a good mix of stuff to review. So go check out Ghosts of London on Facebook, and they do have a webpage, ghostsoflondon.co.uk. You want to go check out their webpage as well. Let me do this and make it a little bit bigger. There we go. Here we go. This is the image. It says, my daughter, granddaughter, and I were ushered into the movie 10 minutes before anyone else, so I snapped a picture of us. Looking at the pic, we both noticed these two in the back. We both looked behind us, and there was no one there. Took another couple of pics of the same area, and then around the theater, but nothing. Turns out my pic was one of many that have these two figures in them taken inside of the theater. Well, that's pretty cool. So they were in there early, took a picture of themselves, which I guess is this image. What are we looking at? No, that's not it. There's no way to actually make it bigger. That's as big as, because they cropped out themselves right here, but they caught these two figures in the back. Look at how pale that guy is. Now, I've often asked you guys, look, if you were going to be a ghost, where would you want to haunt? I think a movie theater would be pretty cool, honestly. Just go from theater to theater and check out different movies. You'd be entertained all year round, at least a couple hours a day. Or you can come hang out in the Paranormal Portal and be entertained a few hours every week. So that's an option too. I'm not saying you shouldn't come, spirits. That's fine, as long as you're nice. But that is a really cool capture. I mean, look at the figure on the left is almost, I mean, you can see shoulders and some kind of like cardigan or something, but then the head is almost not there. And then you got this one who's almost glowing. So I wonder if they can be friends. Like you can go hang out with the other ghosts and just BS while you're just hanging out. That'd be kind of cool. I mean, if you got to be earthbound, at least you wouldn't be alone. I'd prefer to just go on to the next place and not hang out anywhere if I didn't have to. But what do we got here? What do you guys think? Is this legit? Looks like a lot of you think so. Creepy pumpkin head. It's real, Nicholas Salazar says. Yeah, I mean, it could be. Looks pretty good. CCR, good night. Ooh, gotta go sleep. Okay, good night, Josh. So what are you guys thinking? Let's see who's thinking what. Maggie says 1. Rachel says 1. Benno's all in. John Stevenson's all in. Adventures with Beth is laughing. Aussie Tigers all in. Yes, it agrees. Oh, because of the ghost box. Yeah, no kidding. Sharon Sunshine, halfway there. Not all the way. Yeshua's making the Scooby-Doo bug-out eyes. Adventures with Beth is 1. Wizard Moon's 1. Real AF, 1 for me, says Jaron. Yeshua's 1. Love this one, Jaron says again. What if you die and become a ghost and join ghosts who haunted you? Yeah, I mean, you probably could, Bigfoot Fates. I think you probably could. Caitlin's not buying it, though. And Nate's all in. Kitty Cattywack's halfway there. Hey, made it for the last half hour, for sure. You did good. I'll thank you for coming in when you can. Let's see what's going on in Rumble. What'd they say? 0 from my experience. Oh, that's from the other one. Barbara Mora's all in on this one, but it looks like Barbara's the only one that's rendered an opinion on this photo. So that's fine. You don't have to answer every one of them, but if you want me to see your response, it's already been an hour and a half, actually. Hour and a half already down, ladies and gentlemen. Time flies in the portal. You got that right. So I got another one, and then we'll get to the cryptid corner for whatever we got left. I think I just have one more. I think this is a great picture, though. I think it's a great capture. I think, it's just kind of incidental, and they were just hanging out, getting ready for the show. I like sitting close, though. I like sitting close to the screen. I don't like sitting in the way back kind of thing. Like, to me, it's, if I'm going to the movie, like, put me in the damn thing. I want to just forget about all this stuff and just be in the movie. So I always like to sit closer. It's not real popular with anyone else I go to the movies with, but it's where I like to be. All right, let's go get the last one. I think it's the last one. Let's see what it is. I forget. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this one. This one's kind of creepy, weird. I guess I actually have 3 more. I actually have more. Here's another picture one. We'll go a little quickly through this one. I think this one's really kind of creepy, but not really sure what I'm looking at, but looks a little disturbing. See what you guys think. I thought I actually heard a voice just a minute ago or a second ago, but here we go with, from Ghosts of London again. I got a few from theirs. Ghosts of London is a cool, oops, that's not the one I wanted. This one is. Ghosts of London is really pretty cool because they have quite a bit of evidence on their Facebook page. Ghosts of London is, I think, also a television show, if I'm not mistaken, but maybe it's not. But Ghosts of London has a great page full of all kinds of evidence. Some of it is probably very legit. Some of it's probably not very legit. But that's why we do things like this. Let's check out this one. It doesn't give us any information. So it's just this image that looks like it was captured on some kind of security camera. But it looks like a headless woman, right? I mean, I'll try to zoom in a little more here. See if we can see a little more of what we're looking at. But, I mean, it's like there's no head. You know, the only thing I was thinking is, you know, those poor older ladies, they get that whole spine thing cooking. And they get that hump on their back. And it could be just that. Like her neck is forced forward. And it's just an older lady that's got some serious spinal issues due to just advancing age. And that kind of breaks my heart. So it is probably that. I mean, not probably, but it could be that. It could also be some form of apparition that I thought I read some kind of caption on this before. Let me just go to all comments and see if it just says an old woman in 1960s style clothing and a scarf on. Something about the legs and the pants screams 1960s to me. Yeah, I mean, it could be. Could be. What's that on the chair to the right? I don't know. That's the back of a wooden chair, and this is another chair, so I don't think that's anything. I'd never return home. I thought there was some caption to this that said, look, there was nobody in the house at the time this was taken. But I don't see that now. I don't know why. Nope, there's nothing in the comment here. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Creepy, number one. Why would the dress be see-through? That's a good point. I don't know. Maybe it's more of a nightshirt kind of thing, like a sheer, and then there's pajamas underneath. But she's wearing a scarf, so I don't know what we're looking at. I don't know. Could it be an apparition? Sure. I mean, it could be. Oh, great minds, scoliosis. Is that scoliosis, Barbara? Yeah. Barbara's all in on this one. Dog Digger's not buying this one. Benno says 1. Rachel's halfway there. Kitty Catawac's not buying it. Jose's all in. Good to see you, Jose. Adventures with Beth? Nope. Abomination says Yeshua. Maybe. It could be just somebody with a bad neck. John Stevenson? Nope. Hey, chat. Hi, Flat 6. Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming in. Sharon Sunshine, not buying it. As Yeshua is not. And Aussie is not. Caitlin's halfway there. Wizard Moon? Nope. No Bobo BS Dr. Squatch products. What? All right, Cat Doherty's no. So there we go. I don't know. It's interesting. It could be, but again, it's completely physical. It appears to be very completely physical until you get here, and then there's nothing. So I don't know. I don't know what we're looking at, but this could be the hump on the back rather than the shoulders that it appears to be. But I don't know what we're looking at for sure. Very wild, but let's get to the rest of them because I got to make some tracks here and get this stuff caught up so we can get to a little bit of the cryptid corner. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Went the wrong way. There we go. This one is apparently a vintage photograph that allegedly seems to show a spirit. And I'm not going to say where because I want to see what you guys say. It was featured in the book Mediums and the Afterlife with both the research and the image provided by parapsychologist and ghost hunter Richard Adamski. So let's check this one out, folks. Then we got one more after this that's actually a video, but we'll check that out in a minute. I got to keep closing chat bubbles that open on every freaking open window. It drives me crazy. Guess I can go like that and I'll make it a little shorter. Here we go. Here it is. Here's the image in question. Tell me when you see the apparition that's actually manifesting here. It's pretty creepy. All right, there's from the 60s somebody holding a baby. Do you see the spirit? Let me know when you see it. Anybody? You got it? Plain Endo? Plain Endo sees it. If you haven't seen it yet, look at the TV. Look at the TV screen. Yeah, exactly, Kitty Ghetto. I saw it. Yep, that's creepy as hell on this TV screen. Yep. So, I mean, it was featured in a book. It was recorded by a parapsychologist, or it was given to a parapsychologist, and he was able to investigate it. He believes it's legit. It clearly looks like someone looking at that sleeping baby. Looks like a lot of you are all in on this one. Yeah, it's a yikes for sure. For sure, says Jose. 0.7 for Sharon. She's almost there. It is creepy, though, yeah. Look at that face. And it could be an endearing face, but it's just when you see that stark white with the dark all around it and only highlighting certain features, it automatically looks like that old flashlight thing you always did in the dark, where you hold it below your face and you're making creepy faces. That's what that looks like. So even a normal, loving person looks creepy as hell. Well, the way that apparition is manifest there, it looks just like that. So the Reaper, I hope not. I hope that baby grew up to live a great life. But yeah, that is wild. Could be a grandparent, a loving grandparent looking in on the baby. So I think most of you are in. Who we got over here? Big D's all in. Says yes. Barbara Mora's all in with a 1. Yes. Yeah, it's on the TV. Dog Digger saw it as well. It couldn't. Well, is it who said? Where did I see reflection? Could it be a reflection? I don't know how, because it would have to be very close to the TV screen to be reflecting that much off of that convex or concave surface. That'd be convex because it's coming out. It was like kind of a bubble. These TV screens were kind of a bubble, like they would be closer in here and they would kind of arch out and then arch back in. So it would have to be very close to this screen. Interestingly enough, there does seem to be a discoloration here that would almost approximate a body as well. I don't know for sure, though. It could just be the way the photograph aged. I mean, you see a color. Well, I guess that's two different wallpapers. Who decorated this place? All right, but anyway, I think it could be a great capture. But in order to reflect that much of a face in a TV screen like that, that's almost a fisheye lens kind of thing where it makes everything look way far away, even when it's close up to the TV, unless you're like right into it. But that face would have to be about 3 feet away from the screen or 4 feet to reflect and be that large on that surface. So in any case, that is interesting. Yeah, it is an old photo. It's definitely from the 60s, apparently. So 1960s, or at least it appeared in a book in the 60s. It could predate that, but look at that wallpaper. That's definitely 60s wallpaper. That wasn't like the 50s weren't quite that loud. The 60s were. Yeah, there you go. I think it's interesting. I think that's a good one. There you have it. I think that's a good capture. Again, this is from Red's Creepy Clips this time. So I've mentioned Red's Creepy Clips many times on this show. This one I've had open for a while. I just forgot to get to it last time. So, yep, the walls, 2 different wallpaper. Isn't that great, Dog Digger? Who is your decorator? somebody that has like walleyes where their eyes are looking two different directions, like they got like chameleon eyes. It's put the seam there. That's a perfect place for a transition. Psychedelic, yeah, actually. I have a baptism pic with that looks like that. Oh, okay. Does it have a ghost in it? I want to see it if you do, Beth. Okay. That's that one. I think we're all on the same page with this one. Creepy. All right, I got one more. Got one more for you. Then we'll get to the next. And this one is coming from TikTok, of all places, actually. And this is, it says from Daily UTLRPD. I don't know if this was sent to me by one of you guys, Rachel. Maybe you sent it to me, or Chucky, or somebody. I don't remember where I got it. I could look in the messages, but I'm not going to open my messages live on the show. Not that anything inappropriate's going on, but, you know, it's just I'm a private person, so. But I'll bring it over. It's from TikTok. It is, in the United Kingdom, a gentleman finds himself immersed in a harrowing ordeal with intense paranormal occurrences within the confines of his apartment. This is coming from Laney and Ben channel. And I think they had a bunch of, at least they claim to have a bunch of haunting stuff on their home, or have, I think, recorded it at their home. But again, believe what you will, I think anybody that can record a full channel's worth of evidence in their own home is probably fabricating some of it. I just don't think any activity, any location is that active all the time. You can have spurts of activity, but they're, you know, probably not going to wait for you to set up a camera and record it. But at any rate, here is the video. Take a look. Tell me what you think. I'm not saying it couldn't be, this video couldn't be legit. I'm not saying Laney and Ben's channel is not legit. I'm just saying, you know, don't forget to apply logic to this stuff. There's just if there's so much of it, it's probably not all real. Just saying. All right, here we go. Here's the video from TikTok. I'm going to make it lower a little bit. There we go. All right, I'm going to play it. Here it goes.
I'm out.
Here's the original footage. Watch the blinds first.
Got ya. I waited about 45 minutes for that one, guys. Blinds have just opened. People are saying do a full shot of the screen, of the window. There's not much more I can do, guys. So that's the blinds. So I'm going to be going with my mum soon, guys, anyway.
That's pretty crazy. I don't see any motorized thing. I don't know, though. I mean, there are motorized blinds. That was very quick, though. It was a very quick transition for them to open that quickly. I think that's at least suggests the possibility of it being paranormal. I don't know if the motorized ones that they open that quickly, maybe they can. I don't know. I'm just not familiar with it, but they do look like they're built into the wall. So I don't know if there's a mechanism up here that makes them automated or not, but you're about to see something more with the chair, so keep your eyes going.
You can fucking start learning to close them. That'd fucking help, lad.
Sorry about the language.
Fuck that, guys. I'm out. What the fuck?
Sorry about the language.
Worst one yet. What the fuck?
A lot of language.
I'm done.
I'll just mute it. He does investigate the chair, like showing that, look, there's not like a pole of any kind on it. Is it legit? Well, it could be. I mean, if those two events are truly combined, then probably, I don't have a link to send you, so I'm sorry. But look up Laney and Ben on TikTok. You can probably show it. Looks like it comes from Daily UTLRPD on TikTok. I don't know if he posts a whole bunch more and has more to show. But that is a pretty significant pull for a chair of that size. I don't think, I'm not going to say I don't think. I don't know that you could accomplish it that aggressively with fishing line. Maybe you could. But you don't see it coming from him. But what we don't see, is there anybody sitting next to him? I don't know that. I can't answer that. There's a lot of possibilities. Or is there someone in the next room yanking on a line? Could be. It could be faked, but is it? That's the question. So there you have it. What do you guys think? Adventures with Beth, chair was possessed. Yeah, we got a lot of halfways there. I think that's a fair assessment. Halfway. Why would he go near it? I wouldn't touch that thing. Fair enough. John's halfway there. Aquarian Sunshine believes it. Jose's all in. Benno's all in. Poltergeist Jose says, yeah, it looks poltergeisty. Halfway for Wizard Moon. Caitlin's not into that. She's not buying it. Last night my friend saw a transparent entity wearing a white cloak walk across my kitchen. Wow. That's wild. Very wild. Howell's halfway there. He said he waited 45 minutes for the first encounter. Yeah. And we have to take him at his word. I mean, I didn't watch the 45-minute version, just this one. Kat Doherty's halfway there. Yeshua's all the way in. Barbara Mora's all in on this one. Dog Digger's about halfway there. So fair enough. That's Plain Endo says 0. I'd absolutely panic. Yeah, it's a lot to absorb. Good to see you, Hoggle. Thanks for coming in, and it's great to hear your story. I'd love to hear any more that you guys have. If anybody has a lot of paranormal stories, please get a hold of me. I'd love to have you as a guest on the podcast. The podcast is a different show from all of this. This is the live streams. Podcasts are basically interview-based usually, or I cover one topic for the 45-minute show. So if any of you have stories you want to share and wouldn't mind being a guest on the show, on the podcast show, then go over to paranormalportal.net and click the interview me button. That'll launch my calendar app, and you can pick from days and times that I have available and for us to connect and record an episode. But if you're looking at that calendar, you're like, I can't make any of these, then get a hold of me via email at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com, and I can work out a custom time that can work for both of us. It's not that I can't do it any other times, but I just set up a couple days a week, 3 days a week that I can do interviews on, where I can make it work pretty easily. But it's possible to make other times work if that's what you need. So there we go. All right, we're about at the end of the journey here, but we got to get to some of the other stuff that we cover here on the show. And I'm talking about creatures. We did a little cryptid bit with the grimacing Bigfoot or smiling Bigfoot. Was that a smile or was it a grimace? I don't know, on that alleged trail cam from Boise Bigfoot. But we're going to get to more because there's more to get to. And let me see, I got a couple of them here. Is this one? Yeah, I think we could do this one. Yeah, this will be a good one. That's a pretty good sized story. Not too bad, but it might be the rest of the show. If not, we can maybe squeeze in one more. We'll see. Yeah, there's another one that follows it that's not too bad. So let's get to the cryptids and see what we can crack open here in the cryptid corner, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the cryptid corner, where the dark roads end and beings exist in the nightmare of the innocent. The cryptid corner. I got to see where it is. That'll work. That's mostly visible. Let me turn off that transition now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cryptid Corner. This is where we get to all of the cryptozoological creatures that we can pack into the shows. Oftentimes we cover a lot of Bigfoot because, honestly, it's the most prolific claims of people experiencing cryptids. It comes from the world of Bigfoot. More people are seeing Bigfoot than any other cryptid. I'll get a hold of you, Brent. I've been wanting to come on. Very good, Aquarian Sunshine. Sorry. I can spit that out eventually. But yeah, go to paranormalportal.net, click the interview me button, and that will give you some options. I'll be looking forward to talking to you. Okay, here we are with Sasquatch Chronicles blog, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, everybody knows about Sasquatch Chronicles because if you don't, you've been living under a rock. But at any rate, this is Wes Germer's site, and it is the companion site to his podcast. And there's a lot of great information over here, so definitely support it. Stop by, check it out. He's updating it daily with new information, new stories, new articles, and a lot of these listener emails that he gets. He posts the majority of them on this blog, and I've been sharing those here with his blessing. So thank you, Wes. As always, brother, I appreciate it. And let's get to this. This first one we're going to get to, and maybe this will be the only one, we'll see how it goes, but comes from October 29th. A pair of red eyes staring at me. I think that's got to be a horrifying situation. But let's check it out. A listener writes, I've been wrestling with an experience I had 5 years ago while working as a first responder in East Tennessee. Let me tell you my story, and I'll let you speculate on what it is that I saw. I don't remember the exact date, but I know it was between the hours of 2 and 3 a.m., between Thanksgiving and Christmas in Sullivan County, Texas, near the Hawkins County border in 2020. A more exact location would be the adjacent field/tree line at the intersection of Morlock Road, Beach Creek Road, Tennessee Highway 347. As I said before, I was covering a shift on a rescue truck for the volunteer fire department I was a member of, and in that role, I responded to emergency medical, fire, and rescue calls in my area and rendered care until an ambulance arrived. My vehicle was a modified Ford F-250 pickup, complete with lights and sirens. I responded to a call at the brick home near the intersection I mentioned before. After the call was over, the patient transported by the ambulance, I returned to my vehicle and put my medical bag in the truck. The truck was parked in the gravel pull-off beside the brick house in front of an old, unoccupied building to leave room for the ambulance in the driveway of the house where the patient was. The rear of the truck was facing Beach Creek Road and the front was facing the old building. My red and white emergency lights were still flashing. As I put my bag in the back seat of the truck, I got this overwhelming feeling of dread, like someone was watching me. It was one of those feelings that gives you goosebumps, for lack of a better word. I looked to my right towards Beach Creek Road and saw a pair of red eyes staring at me in the wood line, approximately 30 or 40 yards off the roadway. The eyes were only illuminated when the emergency lights on my truck flashed. I couldn't see any body features or any kind of silhouette. All I saw was the eyes. They were stationary and were staring constantly at me. I couldn't help but keep looking at them, and I kept getting increasingly more nervous to the point that I felt I needed to get out of there. I honestly felt terrified as I left because I had to back my truck up toward the eyes onto Beach Creek Road to begin my return to my station. I did so very quickly and unfortunately was too cowardly to turn on the scene lights in the direction of the eyes to see what was there. I just got out of Dodge as quickly as I could. I've been in many tense situations in my tenure as an EMT, but that one takes the cake. And I don't know why. I'm no longer with that department due to healthcare problems, but I did run calls in that area afterwards and never had any other encounters. Interestingly enough, my friend and fellow first responder had an experience with a creature on the same stretch of road where it chased him and his vehicle. Perhaps what's more disturbing is the fact that a small child, Summer Wells, disappeared from her home without a trace the following June in 2021 and still hasn't been found. Local, state, and federal entities have combed the area substantially and not a trace was found. Search dogs tracked her scent to a point near Beach Creek Road, but then refused to track anywhere else. That leaves two options. She either was taken in a vehicle or the dogs were afraid to track further. What's also wild was the number of federal entities that saturated the area. FBI and even Homeland Security was spotted in the area, along with Black Hawk helicopters and countless unmarked vehicles with government tags. It really makes you wonder. Well, that's it in a nutshell. I'm very interested in the Bigfoot Sasquatch subject and would love to learn more, particularly of sightings in my area. Yeah, no doubts. I will say, if you're ever looking for other sightings, one great resource is bfro.net. bfro.net. That's, of course, Matt Moneymaker's site, who is best known for his role in Finding Bigfoot TV series, but it's a great repository for encounter sightings. There's a couple others out there. I don't know how well they're maintained. A lot of them came out and then just kind of got abandoned. I know there are those out there, but you can look via state or area for North America and check out any recorded sightings in your areas. And there's a surprising number of them out there on those repositories. So check them out and see if you find out more information in your area. Chances are somebody else might have seen something as well. And that's out there and it's free to use. So check it out. All right, Rule 55. We're kind of running out of time, so I think we'll lock it up there, actually. That's kind of the journey as far as we have it now. I do want to put it out there, ladies and gentlemen. Next September, I'm going to be going up to Canada. Where am I going? Well, glad you asked. I'm going to be going to Caribou Con. It's CARIBOO Con. It's a conference up there being set up by none other than our own Mr. Dave Scott of Spaced Out Radio. And I'm going to go up there and talk and be hanging out. So if you are in Canada and if you can be in that area, come on over and come over to Caribou Con. Keep watching. If I have more information or any kind of media I can share with you, I will, but it's in the planning stages, and that will be happening I think it'll probably be up in BC, but I don't know for sure. I don't remember where it is exactly. But Caribou Con, I think you can go to cariboucon.com. I don't know. Let's look it up. Let's do that. We can do that. Let's do it. Let's see. cariboucon.com. Yeah. Here it is. I'll put it up on screen. You guys can see it. It'll be September 18th through the 20th, 2026. And the site is live now. You can bookmark it. But again, it's Caribou, CARIBOO. Let me make it smaller so it'll fit on the screen. CaribouCon, CON.com. And this will be where you will check it out. Does it say? Yeah, it's in 108th Mile Ranch, BC, British Columbia. So here it is. If any of you are interested in learning more, this again is, let me pull it down so you can see, cariboucon.com. This is it, 2026. So there's going to be expert speakers. Yeah, it's me. Well, I'm one of them. There's going to be several speakers up there. Of course, Dave Scott is going to be speaking as well. And lots going on, but it'll be a good time. So come check it out. Come be a part of it. And yeah, you might want to be ready. There's only 316 days, 17 hours, 31 minutes, and 55, 4, 3, 2, 1 seconds left. So it's nearly a 4-month drive from the southern U.S. That is a little bit of a haul, Flat Six, I'll tell you that. But just saying, you could probably hitchhike it and get there about on time. If you don't have anything to do for the next several months and trudging through the tundra of Canada in the winter, if that's your thing, you might be on the right track. But that's going to be where I'm at next September. That's the only thing I got on the books now. Probably going back to Phenomicon again. But other than that, totally worth it. I like how you think, Flat Six. I like how you think. But this is going to do it for tonight's episode of the Paranormal Portal. So I hope you guys had a good time on the journey. I'll be back on Friday night and Saturday as well to do a couple more episodes for the week. But it's great seeing you guys. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out. Special thanks to those who gifted the subs. I really appreciate that. That's great. Maggie and I think it was Jim. Jim Gwynn gifted some subs tonight. You guys are amazing. It really means the world to me, and thank you so much. And remember, there's lots of ways to support the show. Not all of them are monetary. Just hit those likes before you leave. If you enjoyed yourself, had a good time, be sure to leave comments if you're watching when it's not live, and feel free to share the episodes to introduce more people about the show. Those are all great methods to support that won't cost you a dime. Just cost you some time, not a dime. So that's it. That's all I got for you. You guys take care. Thank you, Caitlin. I appreciate you being here. Thank you, Jose. You guys are awesome. Thank you all you guys over in Rumble, Facebook, on X and Twitch. Appreciate you watching if you're there watching. And be sure to leave comments over there. That's all I got for you. So until Friday night, you guys take care of yourselves. Remember, I love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day. And remember to laugh as much as you can. We'll see you guys on Friday night. Until then, take care of yourselves. Just take care. Take great care. Get back here. I'll be waiting for you. Good night.